been for me. However, I do have one important question because we do have an SGBM coming up this Sunday. Yes, this Sunday. It's about waiving the rent. The builder is asking if we can waive the rent. Is he even allowed to do that?
See, as of date, can I answer you?
Yes, of course.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as of date, the market situation is so bad as far as Mumbai or Thane is concerned, or Pune, whatever you take for that the builders have started, doing a little daggery. They are trying to, twist arms, of innocent peoples. So this is absolutely not acceptable from a builder to say that I would not be able to give you the rent. Because when your feasibility was worked out, whatever profit or margin was worked out, definitely the rent was taken into consideration.
Yes, it was.
Profit or margins are not going to dwindle. Then he cannot run away from this responsibility of not giving you rent or the shifting charges or whatever has been agreed upon by your society and the builder.
But here's my problem, because I will not be physically present. And one of the rules I've just noted down is for an SGBM, we have to be physically present, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's my issue. How would I
what happens is
notify them?
If you are not there for that matter, I don't think the issue will be only yours. The other members will definitely take up this issue.
Okay.
I
don't care because my house is under lock and key, but I just thought
but
on
still
principles.
it is incorrect. It is
Yes,
incorrect because this is the basic what a builder is supposed to give. Okay. He could compromise maybe on the corpus or the area. Those could be into negotiations. But a shifting or a rent is something which I don't think so. People need to compromise on that. But again, having said that, let me also share with you, there are many parameters that we need to look into before I can give you a judgment on, whether no.
Of course.
But if you ask me on my personal level, I would say no. If the builder is not able to give me the rent, I don't think he is a capable builder. I would put it in that way.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Is the 20% security mandatory? Your views on this subject, as most builders don't agree. Neither does the managing committee follow this.
I have got a simple submission against this. I would always prefer that they give 100% bank guarantee to begin with. Okay. But having said that, the builders are also in these turmoil times showing their inability to give even 20% for that matter. See, these conditions which are there, okay, all the conditions for that matter, nothing is mandatory because as I said, redevelopment project, the parameters keep on changing. Okay. Now here the next question would be that if the builder does not give me bank guarantee, how do I ensure that the project is secure? I'll answer that question. I'll answer your bank guarantee question in one way. Please see before that you are getting the rent, whatever those predated checks, your corpus money is coming to you, your shifting charges are coming to you. The builder is going to show you the IOD, the building, sanctioned building plans are properly done. All the permissions are obtained from the various authorities. When I say all the permissions are obtained, please understand, to get this permission, there's a chunk of money which has to be shared by the builder, official money. At the same time, all the concessions that are required, he has to get it from those various departments where good sizable money is to be invested. And above all, the TDR which is going to be loaded on the building is going to be in your society's name. Then there is something known as a security. There is endless what you can ask for. But I would say you ask for 10 things, out of which at least 7 if you're getting, you could still go ahead with it. And your PMC would be the best person to make you explain at what stage your project is actually being secured. Because when we talk about, whereas again for those who are going to come in, but the one who are giving their house to the builder for their security, kind of things have to be looked in. And if you do actual calculations of all these factors which I have said, it is quite sizable. So in nowadays, I have observed that many a times the builders get away with that I will not give you bank guarantee. And there are societies which ensure that so much investment is plowed into the project, which ensures that even if he has to, if he tries to, he cannot do it because once a sizable amount is invested into the project, it's very difficult for the builder to, really run away from the project. So bank guarantee, as I said, 2030, we should have 100% of at least your house, that is the rehab portion.
So, Mr. Lakshman, I hope your question got answered. I can see that you've got another question. It says, does the PMC need to be registered under any law?
There is no registration of the PMC. This is a question which has been debated for decade at least now. When you are going to finalize your PMC, find out whether the architect is registered with PIATA, whether the advocate has a sanat, whether the chartered accountant is with the institute, the engineers are again with their institute. The housing consultant, of course, has no registration anywhere. But these four, there are bodies where they need to get registered. So you find out whether they are registered properly over there. That is all investigation that is required to be done.
Okay, I'll take the next question. It's from Mr. Rajesh Desai. It says, I think this is based on the website that has to be done. It says, does the mail ID of only the member or family members also will do?
Basically, you have to give in writing that the society to provide you information on this email. It does not matter if you give Amitabh Bachchan's email also. Society will say, you have given us in writing on this email, they will send it to you. There's nothing of that sort.
Okay, fine. So he's got another question. He's got another question which says, can the associate member attend an SPGM?
100% the associate member can attend the special general body meeting and he can vote in the meeting to convey whatever he has to say on behalf of the original member. Because this is one method implemented to get that number of members attending the meeting. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Yes. The next question is from Mr. Dilip. It says, does the website required to be done before the PMC selection or after the PMC selection?
Initial stage, you have to, the moment you go, because as I said, you have to upload all the agenda notices, the minutes on the website. Which you'll be doing it before.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Dilip has got a further question. He says, is the redevelopment committee compulsory or optional?
Redevelopment committee is absolutely optional. They have no locus standi. They are not legal for that matter, but they are only there to help the management committee for investigation purpose and reporting it to them. The entire onus दायित्व पूरे committee का है इस पूर्ण project के लिए.
Okay, the next question is from Mr. Rajesh Desai again. He said, is it mandatory to give an ad in the newspaper for appointment of PMC? If yes, how many newspapers and which newspapers?
So I think, what is the name of the gentleman?
Is Mr. Rajesh Desai.
Rajesh Desai. I think Mr. Rajesh Desai has definitely come late on today's webinar.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yes.
Yeah. Initial slide itself, I have mentioned that newspaper advertising for PMC is not prescribed in the 79A section, but there are societies who are doing it in the name of transparency or for competition.
He's got a further question and he says that can we not change the PMC once it is appointed?
You can change the PMC at any stage. If you are able to prove that the PMC is not performing, you are not satisfied, there is any loss due to their function, you can definitely change the PMC at any stage.
Okay, the further question is from Mr. Dilip. I think it's in continuation of his earlier. It's in continuation of his earlier message. He says on PMC selection, does the redevelopment committee, will it have to be continued or to be dissolved?
Redevelopment committee, as I said, they have no locus standi, so you can take any call that you want depending on your situation. They could remain because they would be a helping hand to their committee. They have nothing to do with the PMC for that matter.
Okay, Mr. Desai further asks a question. It is in continuation of his message which he asked earlier. Is PMC governed by any law? And he says, is he accountable for his work if he commits any mischief in his work?
Yes. That's why I said that when you are appointing the PMC, check whether he is with PIATA, he is with the Bar Association, whether he is with the Chartered Accountant, those things. Because if you are able to prove any malpractices or anything wrong that he is doing, then that would definitely reflect on his further career graph. You can take action against anybody who is misusing his knowledge, his degree.
Okay. So Jayanti ji is asking another question here. She says, what is a search report?
Basically, as I told you, the land on which the redevelopment is going to be carried out, anything. I mean, even tomorrow, if you are buying, there is a search report which you are going to obtain, which tells you exactly how the title has come, from where it has come to where. That is how the current owner is the owner of that particular plot, things like that. And it's how you have a search for a flat. So the search is carried out for all that.
Okay. He's got Mr. Rajesh Desai again has another question. If other than 51% members do not agree for redevelopment, what are the options left?
Yeah, basically, as I said, this 51% is basically given for you to move the project ahead, for that matter. Okay. Now, option is very simple. It ultimately goes into litigation, because those who are not with you, and if you have to take them with you, me personally, if you ask me, all the projects that I'm doing, I have faced no problem like this. People do have reservations. People do have doubts, do have queries, do have questions. Okay. A good PMC would resolve these questions, because ultimately, let us understand, in a building, you can't keep 5 people inside and still do the redevelopment. Because 100% people have to come with you. So your first job would be to bridge that gap of between 51 to 100, whatever is balance for that matter. And a redevelopment will be only successful when 100% people really come down on the same page. So if there is a difference, yes, there are litigation issues which are there, okay, which can be sorted out. Unless they have a very strong, valid point, they don't stand any chance in the litigation process. It's vice versa. Next.
Oh, okay. The next question is from Mr. Dilip. Again, he is asking, if a single member does not want rent, but can it be given along with the corpus fund? Is that allowed?
Basically, whatever decisions that you are going to take in the general body are binding on everybody. Okay. People cannot have separate laws for separate persons. So then the redevelopment will go into an unending situation. Okay. Now, having said that, if an exception has to be made, who are the people to decide that? The giver, that is the builder, and the general body agree to something. If there is a proper resolution framed for that matter, because this is just one question, there could be some other also emergencies that people would come up with. But as I said, the general body is going to decide. And on a lighter note, let me tell you, when such kind of demands are made, people see to it कि इसको तो देने को देगा ही नहीं मैं कैसा भी करके. So that is one kind of thinking suddenly generated into it. So it's very difficult for one person to try and bulldoze what he wants to get it done. It's a little difficult. So people have to go with the flow, with what people are giving. And that is the right way to do it. In a redevelopment, people should not demand or make demands on personal levels. When you're living in a society, you have to go with the flow, because society में रहना मतलब सब अच्छा ही नहीं होता है. कुछ बुरा भी होता है, कुछ खट्टा भी होता है, कुछ मीठा भी होता है. So person should understand in a cooperative system to go with the flow. No separate laws are made for concessions. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Lakshman is asking a couple of questions here. He says, is the website mandatory? His next question is, the redevelopment committee, should it be separate from the normal committee? I assume he says managing committee. And in case of a project default, will the committee members be liable?
Nobody is liable, because if you understand, when the redevelopment is being taken, the role and the scope of work of the PMC is pre-decided. The role and scope of work of the builder is pre-decided, and the managing committee obviously has its own role as per the bylaw. So if they do not perform, there are some mistakes. Under section 138, you can take them to the gallows. So it is all very well defined everywhere. So because of that, nothing happens. You know what is your role, because I'm making a statement again and again over here. All decisions are to be taken in the special general body meeting. So where is the question of the managing committee being hanged? When the decisions are going to be taken.
Correct. Okay, the next question is from Mr. Hemant. He says, what is an option being given to the members to get their own PMC developer?
There is no option. They have to get their own PMC developer, and that put their quotations into the society, and it is the society on the whole, a general body who is going to decide the choice of the PMC. It is not an individual person getting a PMC on board. It is always the general body which will decide which PMC. That's why I said the selection process is going to be done. 3 will be shortlisted. Out of that, 1 will be selected. So there is no personal choice over here for a PMC.
There's a question from Mr. Dilip again. During redevelopment, can a member sell the flat with the same rights he or she is supposed to get from the builder in case of a financial crisis?
Member can sell his flat at any stage, but it is advisable that he hangs on to the process once the developer is selected. But nobody can stop him because that is his own property. So you can't make him stay back for that matter. If he has a buyer and if he wants to quit, he can quit at any point. You cannot force him to stay on.
Okay, you've already answered the next question at the initial stage. This was from Jayanti ji. Can the developer builder ask for waiving of the rent to be paid out to the society members during demolition?
Practically, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, you've also answered the next question that she has asked. Who allots the flats?
As I said, that is done in your general body meeting, and your general body decides on how the flats are going to be allotted. It is not an individual person doing that. If you are going to introduce a lottery system, then the representative will be there, AO will be there in front of him with a video shooting. The lottery system can be effected.
Okay, the next question again from Mr. Dilip, who seems to be very active today on this platform. He's asking the feasibility report that is being prepared is supposed to be a secret document, and is it only available for viewing or a copy is given to each member?
Ideally, the report is a confidential report because it is containing classified information. Okay, but I have encountered many societies where people have gone into huge litigation for them not being given a copy of the feasibility report. Now here I take minutes just to help my people to understand why that report is not given. Number one, please understand, you have appointed a project management consultancy for what? You have appointed the PMC who is going to be your guiding factor, who is going to be your friend, philosopher and guide throughout the redevelopment process. You have appointed a PMC who you know is an expert in this field, who is a knowledgeable person in this field. And the bottom line is, he is going to be on your side. So you should not have any kind of a suspicion on him. That is the first part I am trying to indicate. Second thing, when the feasibility report is being splashed in front of everybody, it is the PMC's duty to explain if there are any queries regarding this to the members to their satisfaction. Now, please understand, when you have a PMC on board who is going to explain to you, still people are there who say, नहीं मेरे को कॉपी दो, मेरे साले का एक नेबर है उसको दिखाने का है, मेरे को एक कॉपी दो, मेरी साली वहां रहती है उसका कोई भाई को देने का है. I mean, people come with weird, मेरा कोई पहचान का आर्किटेक्ट है, ये है वो है. My simple question is, why do you have to go out when your own PMC is going to answer all your queries? He is supposed to answer your queries. It's his duty. So, till satisfied, don't finalize the feasibility report. You keep on putting your queries, but you put across queries which are legible. ऐसे query पूछो जिसका इस प्रोजेक्ट से संबंध है और सबको फायदा हो सकता है. I'll just share one incident with you. We are doing a project somewhere. I cannot name the project. I'm on a public platform. तो वहां पे everybody gave their consent for the project for an XYZ area. One person got up and said कि नहीं ये एरिया मेरे को मंजूर नहीं है. बोला क्यों? Because ये म्हाड़ा लैंड है और यहाँ पे हमको इतना मिलना चाहिए. Now what that person was saying was right because म्हाड़ा में कैपिंग होता है. So कैपिंग के हिसाब से वहां बोल रहा. Okay. So I had to ask that person. I said, from where did you arrive at this कि इतना मिलना चाहिए और ये कम दे रहा है? So the answer came that there was an XYZ expert who had come to this area and given a big bhashan, and he said कि तुमको इतना तो मिलना ही चाहिए. I said, उसने बोल दिया इतना मिलना चाहिए. Did you tell him about what problems your project has got? Said तरह के है, reservations का problem क्या है, over consumed FSI है, बहुत सारे problems आपके हैं. वो आपने उनको बताया क्या? तो वो प्रॉब्लम्स कहाँ लेके जाओगे? तो जो प्रॉब्लम्स है वो आपके प्रोजेक्ट पे लगने वाले हैं और उसके हिसाब से जो मिलने वाला है वो कम होने वाला है. You getting my point? So people should understand कि just by circulating a feasibility report to 10 corners, तुम्हारी एरिया बढ़ने वाली नहीं है, तुम्हारा FSI बढ़ने वाला नहीं है, तुम्हारी लैंड की एरिया बढ़ने वाली. पीपल थिंक कि उसको दिखाएगा तो वो कुछ और मेरे को बताएगा, फिर मैं यहाँ आके आक्रमण करूंगा. बट ऐसे नहीं होता है. आप सिंपल क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं कि भाई मेरी एरिया कितनी है लैंड की. वो एरिया PMC या आपका मैनेजिंग कमेटी बढ़ा नहीं सकता है, वो एरिया उतनी ही रहेगी. उस पर एफएसए कितना होगा, टीडीआई कितना लोड होगा, वो पेपर पे होता है। तो उसमें कोई आपकी एरिया पे चोरी करने का वो जमाना ही नहीं है। So understand, they should have trust and faith on their PMC, on their managing committee, and if there's a redevelopment committee, faith on them also. Because आज की टाइम पे, let me be very candid over here, चोरी चकारी का जमाना खत्म हो गया। अच्छे दिन आ गए ये नहीं बोल रहा हूं मैं, लेकिन चोरी चकारी का जमाना खत्म हो गया। रीडेवलपमेंट
और ट्रांसपेरेंसी ज्यादा इस्तेमाल होगी आने वाले टाइम में, और हो रही है आज भी। तो उस
हो
वजह
रही
से
है आज की
आप
तारीख में।
भ्रष्टाचार, चोरी वगैरह आप
और
भूल
अभी तो
जाओ।
मैं ये भी बोलता हूँ, फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट आप वेबसाइट पे अपलोड कर दो, खत्म। जिसको चाहिए प्रिंट आउट निकाल के लेगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है। क्या ये प्रोजेक्ट आपको अच्छी तरह से आगे ले जाना है, तो ये इन्फॉर्मेशन अगर आप रखते हो तो कंपटीशन बिल्डर में लगाने में सहूलियत होती है। वंस द इन्फॉर्मेशन आउट की इनकी फिजिबिलिटी ये वर्कआउट होती है, तो आपको ऑफर जो आने वाले उसके इर्द गिर्द ही आने वाली है। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड। तो वो कंपटीशन जिंदा रखने के लिए ये क्लासिफाइड रखा जाता है। बाकी ऐसा कोई रूल नहीं है, किसी से छुपाने वाली कोई बात ही नहीं है। आपका प्रोजेक्ट है, कौन छुपा सकता है आपसे? आप अगर मांगते हो तो प्रोजेक्ट का रिपोर्ट भी आपको मिल सकता है, लेकिन उसके लिए प्रोजेक्ट को लटका के रखना या कोई एक हर्डल क्रिएट करना, वो मुझे गवारा नहीं। मेरा कहना सिर्फ उतना ही है। या सर, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
The next question is a question which says, "Can you advise a good PMC?" And on a lighter note, I'm going to go on to the next
Madam has already
question.
answered that question. कि I cannot market
I
myself,
didn't-
but if people think I am available and I am doing PMC, I mean in Mumbai 150 society कर रहा हूँ मैं।
I'm understood that I did it purposely.
My number
I'm
is
sure
already
you-
given. People can approach us.
Yes, I'm sure you understood that I'm doing it on a lighter note. Okay,
Yeah,
but the number is already there of Mr. Vijay Samant. You can always get in touch with him. Okay. Although this next question is out of the scope, but I'll still take it if you wish to take it. Okay.
Please,
It says types of redevelopment, for example, cluster development, self-development, and what are the other types?
See,
That is, if you wish to take it. If you don't want to, I can go on to the
I
next
don't
question.
think there are many types. We are doing a class teacher's job, trying to test
Yes.
them with. Let it
Yes.
come with their problems, which I would like to resolve. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you please explain the time frame for the structural audit, 15 to 30 every 5 years or what?
Yeah. Any building which is in the age group between 15 to 30 years, every 5 years you have to do the structural audit once. And if your building age is above 30 years, every 3 years you got to do the structural audit once. And this is mandatory, compulsory. So please do not shun away from your responsibilities of conducting the structural audit. And again, I'm repeating, your structural audit report will become the basis for your redevelopment procedure.
Okay, the next question, I don't know how you're going to answer this, but is it possible for the society to hand over the building to redevelop to the developer without doing all the proper paperwork?
As I said, if the society is going to do this, then you are automatically going into the litigation alley.
Correct,
Because please
correct.
understand, if the society does not follow the well-defined rules, laws, acts, and bylaws, everything, then even one person can go and stop the entire redevelopment process. So, although you must have seen that minority cannot stop redevelopment, if the process is not followed to the T, even one or two people can go and create unwanted hurdles to the redevelopment process. So when you are doing a redevelopment process, please understand that people need to first themselves understand what is this process, what the law stipulates, what are their rights, what are their privileges, and what are their duties. And only after doing that, people should venture into redevelopment. But as I said, एक ऑफर आ गई, हमको अच्छी लगी, इसलिए हमने चालू किया. This is the common sentence which I have heard, which is wrong. You need to first assess your own whatever ground realities are there. Based on that, appoint a proper professional and then conduct the redevelopment process. You will definitely achieve what you are looking for.
Okay, the next question is from Mayuresh Patkar. He says, what is the reason for not keeping the feasibility report with the member and only at the society office?
Not keeping it with the members.
With the members. This was with your slide, what you had said that it is done only.
Yeah. As I said, this is containing classified information and it is a confidential report. But having said that, when I'm telling you that you can upload it on the website, I think everybody has got access to that. But if you really want, because see, understand, when you're doing a redevelopment, you're doing it for your society. And every time I listen to this sentence whenever I go to society, sir, like a family, we are like one. The moment redevelopment comes, ये एक family के चार family बन जाती है. There are unlimited groups that are formed. People come with some great ideas and then everything is for a toss. So पहली बात ये है कि people should come together and have some faith and trust with each other. Where people have faith and trust, there the redevelopment process moves, because transparency and coordination, I have already mentioned in my slide, that has to be maintained. Democratic process has to be followed. And all those have achieved because they have come to this level. And the bottom line is you got a good PMC who can teach you this at every stage. Otherwise, let me tell you, no document should be hidden from anybody, if you ask me. I am saying, go up, डाल दो. कितने लोग आते हैं वो डाल दो, मीटिंग कब लेना है वो डाल दो, एवरीथिंग यू पुट ऑन योर सोसाइटी नोटिस बोर्ड, ऑन द वेबसाइट की आइडिया इज रियली ब्रिलियंट, बट हाउ पीपल यूज इट इज डिपेंड ऑन दैट. मतलब अभी उसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन अगर कोई गलत तरीके से इस्तेमाल करेगा तो नुकसान तो आपका ही होगा. सी हियर द प्रॉब्लम इज व्हाट, मराठी में हमारे में कहावत है कि दूसरे को जलाने के लिए मैं अपना घर फूंक दूंगा, उसको एक चटका लगाने के लिए, उसकी उंगली को एक चटका लगाने तो उसके लिए मैं पूरा घर जला दूंगा मेरा, विच इज रॉन्ग. So certain things you got to understand. And again, before I part with you, again, one important thing I'll share with you. Society के जो committee members है, whenever they try to teach these things which I have told you to their members, it is never acceptable. Because each member thinks कि मुझे ज़्यादा समझता है तेरे से. This is a common thing in every society. So they are not ready to listen to their society committee members or managing committee members. वो ऐसे बोलेगा मेरे को मत सिखा, मेरे को आता है. देखो एक बहुत सिंपल कहावत मैं आपको बताता हूँ. घर का बेटा भी जो है ना, वो बाप की नहीं सुनता है, मामा की सुनता है. ये कहावत है. तो उसका बाप बेचारा रोज थकता है उसको समझाते, लेकिन मामा जो बोलता है वो उसको सही लगता है. मामा सही है क्योंकि बाहर का है, घर के आदमी में विश्वास नहीं होता. ये प्रॉब्लम एवरीवेयर होती है. जिस दिन बाप पे विश्वास रखोगे नैया आगे चलने जाए, you will cross the river. I'm very sure about that. People should understand these things. Yeah.
Okay, the next question, Mr. Shailendra Sawant is asking, I think this is on the schedule that you had shown. He says corpus disbursement schedule. What should be the ideal disbursement schedule? Should it be completed before possession or after possession?
Generally, how the builders do it, they do it in different manners. Okay, 25, 25, 50, 50, 20, 25, or 25. It depends. Matlab, some money before you exit, some money after you take possession. So there are different combinations which your PMC will be able to, because see, you have to justify this period of why I should take it then or why not now or why so much now, why not so much now. So based on the project report, the PMC is the best person to actually guide you, because now if I tell you my 100 projects, everywhere it's not the same. Somewhere before position 100% लिया हुआ है, somewhere below position खाली 25% लिया हुआ है. So it depends on your feasibility working, because that is ultimately going to be a burden on the project, because interest factor तो लागू होता ही होता है. So project to project this will differ. There is no set rule on this part.
Okay, then the next question is the society a co-promoter in this?
Yeah, of course, the society is a co-promoter.
Sir, I have a question. Society one exit clause in VA, is it right? I'm not able to. This is from Preeti.
Is she there? So
the platform. I'll take the next question. It says, what about flats purchased before December 1986? Is registration compulsory in case of redevelopment of society today? Those days, stamp duty.
Registration and stamp duty are two statutory norms which have to be complied with by every member, okay, to begin with. Now, if you read the Registration Act 1908, okay, Section 17 clearly stipulates that any flat or any instrument which is more than 100 rupees has to be registered. So, I mean, that goes without saying. See, the problem is what I'll explain to you. Stamp duty अगर नहीं भरते हो तो उसके ऊपर पेनल्टी है, कायदे में लिखा है. बट रजिस्ट्रेशन अगर नहीं करते हो तो उसमें कोई पेनल्टी नहीं है. सो पीपल हैव कन्वीनियंटली एक्सेप्टेड कि जिसपे पेनल्टी है वो मैंडेटरी है, जिसपे पेनल्टी नहीं है वो नहीं करेगा तो भी चलेगा. हाउ पीपल हैव मेड अ परसेप्शन अबाउट द रजिस्ट्रेशन. बट इफ यू आस्क मी, रजिस्ट्रेशन अगर नहीं है तो दैट डॉक्यूमेंट विल नॉट बी ट्रीटेड इन द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑल्सो. So that itself tells you that yes, everything is required, it is necessary.
Preeti, ask your question, Mr. Samant.
जी सर, मुझे सिर्फ एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है. हमारा सोसाइटी रीडेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस में जा रहा है, तो ऑलरेडी बिल्डर अपॉइंट हुआ है, तो डीए में हमारे सोसाइटी के चेयरमैन ने एक क्लॉज रखा है, एग्जिस्टिंग क्लॉज करके, जिसमें ये लिखा गया है कि अगर बिल्डर ने पूरा नहीं किया तो वो एग्जिट हो जाएगा और फिर सोसाइटी खुद लैंड मॉर्गेज करके वो कंप्लीट करेगी। तो
ये क्लॉज इस का है, व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू से दैट कि अगर बिल्डर ने जो भी प्रॉमिस दिया वो फुलफिल नहीं किया, ओके, तो उसको टर्मिनेट किया जाएगा, ओके, और उसको करने के बाद सोसाइटी जो भी बचा होगा काम वो खुद करेगी। दैट इज व्हाट बेसिकली दैट क्लॉज इज ट्राइंग टू से।
जी, लेकिन ये क्लॉज में ये नहीं लिखा हुआ होगा सर कि कितनी देर में या फिर क्या है, क्योंकि डिमोलिश तो होगा लेकिन सोसाइटी कब तक ये सारा डिसीजन लेगी या फिर नया डेवलपर करेगी, ये लिखना जरूरी है सर।
देखिए ऐसा है, नंबर वन तो आपका जो भी पीएमसी होगा, ही इज द वन हु सपोज टू गाइड यू ऑन दिस पार्ट, बिकॉज वो पूरा पढ़ेंगे तो ही बता, लेकिन मैं आपको उसका एक निचोड़ बता देता हूँ क्या है
जी।
नंबर वन इज, जो बिल्डर को आप अपॉइंट करने वाले हो, ओके, तो बिल्डर को जब अपॉइंट करते हो, डीए जब करते हो, तो देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज ए बार चार्ट, ओके। चार्ट क्या बताता है कि कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी किस प्रकार से होने वाली है। मतलब आप जब घर करोगे आपको पता चलेगा कि पहले महीने में क्या होने वाला है, दूसरे महीने में क्या होने वाला है, तीसरे महीने में क्या होने वाला है। इस प्रकार से अगर आपकी बिल्डिंग 2 साल में बनने वाली है फॉर एग्जांपल, तो आपको कि 2 साल जब खत्म हो गया तब आपका लास्ट स्लैब किस स्टेज पे आया होगा, ठीक है। अब उसमें क्लॉज ये लिखा जाता है कि अगर बिल्डर डिफॉल्ट करता है या पीछे चलता है फ्रॉम व्हाटएवर बार आपने चार्ट बनाया है, तो उसको बुलाया जाएगा 1 महीने का। अगर समझो 1 महीना बैक चल रहा है, वो जो भी प्रॉमिस किया उसको बुला के उसको वार्निंग दी जाएगी। 2 महीने में वो बैक अब फिर भी नहीं चल रहा है, जो भी प्रॉमिस किया है उसके पीछे चल रहा है, पेनल्टी फाइन लगाया जाएगा। और तीसरे महीने में अगर वो नहीं कर पा रहा है जो प्रॉमिस किया है, तो सोसाइटी एक निर्णय लेगी उसको टर्मिनेट। अब ये निर्णय जब आप लेने वाले हो तो ये किस स्टेज पे होगा ये कोई नहीं बता सकता, मतलब वो कहाँ कम पड़ता है। बट जैसे इफ यू आर लिसनिंग टू द एंटायर वेबिनार, कि अगर आपने जो भी आपको लेना था रेंट वगैरह सब आपने ले लिया है, परमिशन सब मिल गए, कंसेशन सब आ गए हैं, बैंक गारंटी अगर दी है, आज की तारीख में बहुत मुश्किल होता है लेकिन अगर दी है आपको, सिक्योरिटी डिपॉजिट आपने लिया है उनसे और प्लान वगैरह सब आपके हाथ में है, तो आपके पास बचता क्या, पैसा सब आ गया। एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, बिकॉज प्लान ऑलरेडी फाइनल हो चुका है, मतलब अभी करना कुछ नहीं है, अभी सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी करनी है। तो मार्केट में अच्छे अच्छे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो आके ये फुलफिल कर सकते हैं। लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा, तो प्रोजेक्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट ये वेरी होता है। आपका प्रोजेक्ट स्पेसिफिकली क्या है, अगर आप मेरा नंबर आप ले लीजिए, यू कैन डिस्कस विद मी बिकॉज क्लोज करना है। बट ये समझ लीजिए कि वो प्रोजेक्ट को सिक्योर कर सकते हैं, और अगर उसमें अगर टर्मिनेट किया या छोड़ के भी गया तो प्रोजेक्ट रुकेगा नहीं। इसका कि पीएमसी ने रखा होगा ऐसा मैं समझता हूँ, मतलब बिकॉज आई नॉट रेडी, आई कैन नॉट कमेंट। बट अगर आपके पीएम ने एक अच्छा काम किया होगा तो अगर बिल्डर एग्जिट लेना भी चाहता है तो नहीं लेगा, बिकॉज अगर अच्छा खासा पैसा इन्वॉल्व हुआ प्रोजेक्ट में तो बिल्डर भागेगा नहीं।
जी सर,
चूक हुए तो भुगतना पड़ेगा आपको।
जी सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
हाँ शर्मा जी,
सर बिल्कुल।
शर्मा जी, सामंत सर ने जो कहा था रिगार्डिंग स्टैम्प ड्यूटी, उससे मैं थोड़ा सा कुछ और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ कि जब भी एग्रीमेंट रजिस्टर होता है, रजिस्टर का पहला स्टैम्प ड्यूटी लोगों को भरना पड़ता है, बाद में एग्रीमेंट क्या बोलते हैं एग्जीक्यूशन होता है, और स्टैम्प ड्यूटी भरने के बाद में विद इन 4 months द एग्रीमेंट नीड टू बी रजिस्टर्ड विद इन 4 months। अगर नहीं करेगा तो स्पेशल रीजन देके, एक्सक्लूसिव रीजन देके एक्सटेंशन मिल सकता है और एक 4 महीने के लिए, और वो वहां पे तो आपने भरा हुआ स्टैम्प ड्यूटी जो है वो वेस्ट हो जाता है। तो एग्रीमेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन करना बहुत ही जरूरी है।
Sir, I would like to speak. I'm Advocate Nikita Modi here, practicing advocate from Mumbai High Court, sir. I would just like to have one clarification, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sir, the purchase agreement was before December 1986. Registration, though the act was present, the documents had to be sent to Pune for registration. So in the transit, the documents used to get lost. So the people used to register the document, and at that point of time, the stamp duty was only ₹5 on the 5 rupees stamp paper. My concern here is today, if the society wants to go for redevelopment, is registration and stamp duty for that document is necessary? There are so many amnesty schemes coming up regarding the same. or if you're not complying with any of the amnesty schemes, we are supposed to pay the penalty. If that have been waived, because recently we are also having the circular saying that the stamp duty is exempted on the past documents which have been executed related to the sale and purchase of the immovable property, sir. So that was my question, that whether registration and stamp duty is necessary on these kind of documents in case the society is going for redevelopment.
Samant sir, would you like to answer this?
No, you go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay.
Is there any circular, sir, on this regards to this issue?
I'll tell you. The earlier 5 rupees and 10 rupees stamp duty was paid under Section 5G. Today stamp duty of Bombay Stamp Act. Today stamp duty is being paid on Section 25. So naturally, I mean prior to 1985, the stamp duty payable was actually on 5 rupees or whatever it is. But after 1985, for sale of flat and all, it is changed. And for development agreement, after 7th February 1990, you need to pay the stamp duty at the prevalent rates.
All right, sir. Sir, but there will be a lot of inflation in the payment of the stamp duty.
Definitely, there will be definite changes. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I got a couple of societies conveyanced registered at Uran. I knew for that particular society, there were 2 development agreements. One was prior to 1990 and one was after 1990. That the cutoff date was 7th February. For the earlier one, I did not have to pay the stamp duty. For the later one, I had to pay the stamp duty to the tune of 1,28,000 on the development agreement. So
Right.
the section actually varies. 5G and 25.
I'll just come in over here, Uday Shankarji, with your permission.
Yeah,
Madam,
yes,
stamp duty was there from the beginning. Okay. I'm happy that you did not ask the question ki stamp duty was when, because people even today, when we do these seminars, they come and tell us ki stamp duty 1985 mein aaya hai. Uske pehle stamp duty tha hi nahi. So let us understand, stamp duty is there since 1958 to begin with. Number one. Okay. Number two, those documents which were registered, which were stamp duty paid during the period 3rd July 1980 to 10th of December 1985, those documents you will find on 5 rupees the stamp paper, they were done. But the ones before that, that is the old ones, there the situation was like this. His stamp duty was charged at that point also. How it was charged, I'll explain to you. Stamp duty was charged if any instrument till 50,000 rupees, it was 10%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
Between 50 to 1 lakh, 12%, and above that 15%.
Yes, sir.
Lump sum. Okay. Now, what used to happen is people used to do the agreements. 5 lakh का flat है, 5 lakh का agreement बना दिया, उसके ऊपर stamp duty भर के खत्म किया. So the government realized that they are losing revenue. So on 12th of December 1985, the RR was born. That is a ready reckoner. And now who decides your value? You don't decide. The government decides your flat value. The RR, ready reckoner. At the same time, this law came where if your document is not stamp duty paid registered, you will not get membership in the society. So as the law kept on changing, okay, people started following this. But even today, those documents who are 3rd July 1980 to 10th of December 1985, you will find those documents with 5 rupees stamp. Now, if you put this document for amnesty, you will get a reply saying that you don't require to pay the stamp duty, okay, under Section 5H. But when the society goes for conveyance, you have to pay the stamp duty, whatever is market value. Okay. So there is still confusion for that matter over there. But this is how things are at the moment.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very kind of you, sir.